Hey guys, it's Mel. Welcome back to my channel. Or should I be welcoming myself back, because it's been a hot minute, guys. I reckon it's been a month since I've made a video. I got really sick with a terrible flu. I was out for over 2 weeks. I'm still not 100%. And just at the end of, as I was getting better, I had to go on a cruise for 5 days with my girlfriends. It was my friend's 50th birthday, and so a dozen of us girls went away on a cruise, and I was so stressed because I'd been so sick leading up to this cruise, but I managed to get better. I still have a little bit of a tickle in my throat, so if I do start coughing, I apologize. It's been several weeks. I just think I'm going to have this tickle that probably lasts another several weeks. Anyway, September was pretty much a write-off because, yeah, I was really unwell. But I wanted to take a minute here, and it's October. It's 1st of October today. We're getting ready for Q4. So I thought I would do a little bit of a October reset video, I guess. I wanted to talk a little bit about Q3 and what happened and what my plans are for Q4, because I'm actually really excited for Q4. I just feel excited for it. I think Q3 was a little bit of a write-off, and anyway, I'm ready to come back for Q4 and start fresh. I need a clean slate. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. Q3 wasn't the best quarter for me, honestly. Struggled with some mental health, I guess. A lot of that came because I was injured and I was just down about it. I had hurt my shoulder, I'd hurt my leg. I just felt like everything was a little bit broken. It started to mentally get to me, and honestly, I just wasn't in a great headspace for the whole of Q3, I would say. I wasn't in a great headspace. Maybe like 6 weeks ago, I started doing a clean eating plan where I started to focus on eating anti-inflammatory foods to try and help the shoulder. I do think that worked a little bit. I obviously got sick as well a few weeks ago. So when I got sick, my eating plan didn't go as well to plan, I would say. You know, I was just unwell. I wasn't cooking as much as I had been. I got a little bit sloppy on the diet, I guess. But the shoulder is much better than it was. It's still there. The pain is still niggling at me nonstop, but I'm getting more sleep than I was, and it's definitely lessened the pain. So whether or not that's just a combination of having cortisone injections, eating cleaner, eating more of those anti-inflammatory foods, cutting like no alcohol, except I did have a little bit of alcohol on the cruise, but not a lot. So I cut all those things. The other thing that I think made a big difference was I cut all the soft drink. So, it's very windy here, guys. I apologize. I need a couple more screws on the roof in my left-hand corner here. And when the wind comes, I don't know if you just heard that, because you might not have heard it with the mic. I don't want to go too much into being woe me with the shoulder. It was woe me at the time. It's getting better. That is all that really needs to... That's all that really you need to know. Okay, where are we at? Q3 for sales. I just pulled my sales up. Obviously, it wasn't a great month for me. Like, there was a lot going on. I didn't work as much in Q3 as what I hoped. I had a lot of time off. I will say I had a lot of time off Q3. Even while I was just sick with the flu, for the week before the cruise, I had my store into a time away so that I could just stay in bed and rest. And then I've just had my store into a time away for a whole week while I've been away in the cruise. And I also, when I first did my shoulder, I had more time off. So the quarter hasn't been ideal, but I just pulled up my sales so I could let you all know. My sales came in $42,000. In fact, they were like $20 under that. So $41,980 or something dollars for the quarter. So let's say $42,000 is not too bad. It's not where I would have liked them to have ended up, but $42,000, I'm not going to complain. It's still pretty good considering the amount of time I had off and the effort that I probably put into it on those other days when I was still feeling subpar. What did I write down here? I did a total of 1,428 sales during Q3. Oh, I just spat. And my average sale price for the quarter was $29.40. I do hope to get that up into Q4. I'm working on putting some higher priced items into my store. So I'm hoping to, I think at the moment, my average sale price is sitting around that $33 or just under. So I am hoping to kind of for Q4, let's make a prediction, a goal. If it was $29.40, I'm going to try and get it up to around $35 for Q4. I would like it to be higher than that, obviously. I'd love it to get up around that $38, $40. It's not a fast, easy process to grow that. And you really need to be consistent for those few months of selling those higher priced items. So yeah, I think I'm going to sit there. I'm going to make a goal, $35 for my, is that what I just said? $35. I'd like it $38 to $40, but let's be happy with $35. That would be a $5 average sale price increase for the quarter, which would be a start. I don't know if I'm going to make a sales goal. Obviously I want to get it up from that one, constantly try and increase it. That one was, what did I say? 42,000. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just work on that. I think most of my focus is honestly being on healthy. Do you know what I mean? Like the sales are important, but the health is the most important. And when your health is down, it affects everything else. So I feel like if Q4, we're coming into summer now. We've just hit spring, so spring was September, but coming up to summer, it's getting warmer. Like when it's warmer, you tend to get outside more, you're walking, you're getting a bit more vitamin D, you feel a little bit healthier. There's less flus and colds and bugs and COVIDs and all that kind of stuff going around in the summer. So I really am hoping, I think if I keep continuing to focus in on my health, and that is like a priority, and I feel like if I'm focusing on my physical health, the food that I'm putting into my body, then that also makes my mental health better, and that also makes me more productive and makes me work smarter, and everything increases when you feel good. When you feel crap and you are sick and you feel unhealthy and you feel low mood and flat and woe me, everything's down. I haven't had a Coca-Cola for about 6 weeks. I haven't had a Coca-Cola for about 6 weeks. I had one lemonade while I was on the cruise, and the rest of the time I've just been drinking soda water and coffee. Obviously, I still drink coffee, but no Coca-Cola, and I think that made a huge difference. I definitely noticed when I moved to Warehouse last November, let's just go back a little bit. When I moved Warehouse last November, I ended up really, really in a lot of pain for a few months. And the doctor ended up telling me that I'd had an arthritis flare-up. And in my left finger here, the little finger, I have had a lot of pain ever since I moved in last November. Since I have changed the diet and cut out the soft drink, this pain has gone. So I definitely think, even though I've been eating a little bit off plan while I've been off the cruise, and while I was sick, I had a few meals where I just wanted some hot chips and stuff, so I ate a little bit again off the plan. But I haven't gone to that soft drink, and I still haven't had the flare up again with this pain. And this pain is definitely down. So I think maybe the soft drink, the aspartame, or whatever they call it, the fake sugar in the Coke Zero, I don't know. Anyway, I'm off the soft drink. I'm not going back to the soft drink. That is like, for me, it's very hard to give up drinking Coca-Cola. I know that might sound ridiculous, but for me, it is like it's my drug. I don't smoke. I don't drink alcohol a huge amount these days. So Coca-Cola has kind of always been my drug of choice. Sounds ridiculous, but I love it, and I get highly addicted to it. And anyway, it's cut, it's gone, it's not in my life anymore, and it's not coming back. It's out the door. Bye-bye, Coca-Cola. Okay, so I'm on the clean eating. I'm getting back on that wagon this week. trying to keep eating clean. What else am I on? Okay, financially, I'm going to reset for October. So something that I would say I haven't really ever done for a very, very, very long time is track every single expense from my personal life to my business life. Now, obviously, I track a lot of my business expenses because I'm doing them for my tax and for my spreadsheet. I like to know where I'm sitting with my cost of goods, and I like to know where I'm sitting with how much I'm paying for my shipping and my postage with Australia Post. I look at that every month, so I have an idea of how much I've spent for the entire month. But I am not the type of person to track every little expense in my personal life, like all my coffees, all my food, all my takeaways, all my clothing, anything that I'm buying. Like, I don't track all of that. And I know what I overspend on. I know I overspend on things like the coffee, the takeaway foods, the cafe foods. Like, Tom and I like to eat out a lot. So I know that I overspend on those areas, but I'm still not looking at it enough to really know how much I've spent. And I'm gonna track everything for the rest of this year. I think I'm gonna track. I'll see how I go, but I think for the rest of this entire year, I'm gonna track everything. And then come next year, I'm going to then have a few months of data to be able to really set myself a proper budget, if that makes sense. So I thought about just coming out and setting myself budgets for this year, but because I don't really know my actual costs of my cost of living, I guess, like I know the set things. I know how much I pay every week as a direct debit to my electricity account. I know how much my monthly car insurance costs, my monthly home insurance, my monthly rent. Like I know how much all of those costs, but it's all the incidentals that come in that I'm not familiar with. And yeah, I think you could probably do it after 1 month of data, but I think I'd like to do it after a few months of data because it's easy to go like strict for a month and be like, oh, I'm going to watch everything, but I'm not sure if that's always the reality of life. So I think I want to do it for a few months, have a few months worth of data, and then next year I might start to actually budget a little bit differently. So I would say now I'm going to be doing financial tracking. And maybe in the new year, I'll start financial budgeting if I need to. If I'm working well by financially tracking and I feel like I don't need to have budgets for things or cut back on certain things, then maybe I won't need to do an actual budget. I just need to keep tracking. But I think if I'm tracking, then I'll be able to keep my eye on things and I'll know when I'm overspending. If I'm tracking like daily and it gets to the end of the week and I'm like, whoa, Mel, look how much money you've spent on coffee. Look how much money you've spent on takeaway or lunches or whatever. Then I'll be able to rein it back in. So when you're not tracking all the time and you get to a few months and you're kind of like, where's all my money gone? And then you look at it and go, whoa, you can't rein yourself back in after it's been like a few months or 6 months or even like a year or something. Do you know what I mean? But if you're tracking every single day, and then you start to kind of look at it at the end of the week and go, okay, how did I go this week? Yay or nay? That's where I'm at the moment. So that's what I'm going to do. And I've got my spreadsheets. I've already set them up before I went on the cruise. While I was off sick for those couple of weeks, I reset all my budget spreadsheets, I guess they are. And I went back through everything. I've looked at all my expenses. Everything's in the spreadsheet and I'm going to track it. So what I'll probably do with you guys is I'll probably show you my spreadsheet. Well, there's no point showing it now. There's nothing on it. It's the 1st of October. Obviously there's things on it like my rent and my electricity. That's all on there, put in of what I'm, because I pay those things weekly or monthly anyway. I know what those fixed costs are. So they're all in there, but I don't know, maybe I'll do it weekly with you or fortnightly or I don't know. Let's just play it by ear and I'll show you my spreadsheet after I've been individually financially tracking for a while and I'll show you where we're at and I'll show you what I'm doing and where I'm doing good and where I'm doing bad and we'll just see what a difference it makes to my life doing financial tracking and yeah, I'm kind of excited about it. I never thought I'd be excited about having to financially track every last dollar that I've spent. But because, I'll tell you another reason why I'm excited. Let's just jump to this. I have started buying some stocks. In Australia, we call them shares. I think in America, you call them stocks, and I don't know what you call them in UK or Germany or wherever all my other followers are from, but you know what I mean. I've started to try and get into the investing. Now, obviously, I'm brand new into this. I'm not investing a lot. I've only got put a couple of $1,000s into my stocks, my share account. So I'm only brand new into this. But with my type of personality, this is going to swing two ways. I'm going to tell you now. This is my prediction for this. When I get interested in something, I can hyper-focus and I either get really, really interested in it and I stick with it and I will become, I'm not going to say obsessed, a little bit obsessed, addicted, but I will become really interested in the learning process and I will dedicate a lot of time into it and it will become like a hyper-focus of mine. And I will study it and I will learn and I will stick with that. Or I get super hyped up, dopamine hits, excited to learn something new, and after a few weeks, I just drift off. Like something else shiny comes along and interests me and I will move on to that thing. So learning about the shares and the stock market after I'm 49 and I've never had any experience with that. None of my close family members have done that. It's not something that I've been around. I've got people guiding me or anything like that. This is something that I've been wanting to learn. Tom does it. He understands it, a little bit of it, but it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. But I know that I don't want to do investing in like the stock market unless I understand it. I like to be able to understand things that I'm doing. So I've been thinking about this for a long time. It's something I wanted to do while I was off for those couple of weeks sick and I was sitting around my house on time off. I was like, well, I need to do something. So I started to learn about the stocks and I started to research them. I joined a heap of Facebook groups. I have watched that many videos already on YouTube. I have been listening to finance podcasts, and I have been getting really, really excited with it. And I've just started off with a couple of $1,000s that I've put in there. And don't worry, I'm not going to go into this like day trading where I'm like almost like gambling my money away. That's not what I'm interested in. Because of my age, because of my financial situation, because of my lack of retirement funds, I don't have money that I can be risky with, if that makes sense. So I need to make sure that at least 90% of if I'm going to be doing some investing, I want at least 90% of my money to go into like safe EFTs that I think are EFTs that can sit there for 15 years, 17 years, 20 years and just compound over those years now. And because this is something that I'm interested in, like I would like to maybe have like 10% of a portfolio where I can buy with the intention to like set some boundaries, I guess. Buy as soon as those shares make like 20% or 30%, I'm still working on what boundaries I want to set because I'm still looking into that more. But I will be looking to set some boundaries of once they hit like a 20 or 30% profit, I sell. If they drop below a certain point, I sell. So I would like to get into that a little bit. Anyway, for the most part, I just want some nice, safe EFTs to hopefully earn some money and compound me and help work me towards having more money when it is time for me to one day retire. So that is the plan. So it's either, like I said, it's either going to go those two ways. Now, if it goes the first way where I become really interested in this and I really want to keep learning and I love it and it's just something that really sparks my interest like as a hobby, then that'll be where I want that like 10% to kind of play around with buy, sell. If after a few weeks my interest goes like this and I have no interest, it'll be 100% just straight into probably 2, maybe 3 EFTs, and that'll be it. The money will just be split between those EFTs. So I'm not sure where this is going to go. At the moment, I'm really excited with it. I'm enjoying learning about it, and it's made me want to take more control over my finances, because now I'm doing this. It's like, I want to be able to buy more shares. I want to be able to buy more stocks. The only way to do that is to have more money to be able to put it over into that account and buy those shares and stocks. So it's got me being like, okay, Mel, now's the time. Let's do this financial tracking. How much money can we save this month? Because the more money that you save, you can put over into your share account. And it's got me interested in that. So it's got me thinking about, well, how can I make more money to be able to buy more investments and invest more money? And I haven't really been thinking like that for a while. I think for the last couple of years, I've been more in a survival mode, and it's just been about surviving every single week and paying the bills. And now I'm starting to think more of, okay, you're getting older. You need to start thinking about the later years, because the last thing that I ever want is to become a burden on my children where they have to look after me financially. I do not want that. I will never let that happen. So it's like now we're into this next stage I feel like I'm moving into the next stage of my financial life. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm excited about that, and that is what has sparked on my wanting to track everything dollar for dollar to find out exactly where my money is going and what I can save money on, and just to make me more aware, so I'm like not overspending on rubbish or junk or stuff that I don't actually need, so I can be smarter with my money and have more money to go over there and play with these shares that I'm researching. Because the more I'm researching about this, the more it's like, oh, I want to buy this and I want to buy that and I want to buy this. So I have to rein it in and be very careful, because I do have that addictive type of personality, and I don't want investing into the stock market or the share market, whatever you want to call it, to be like gambling. I'm not a gambler. I've never been a gambler. I rarely play the poker machines or the slot machines, if that's what you call it. I don't bet on the horses. I'm just not a gambler type of person, but I can see how shares and stocks could become almost like gambling if you have that addictive type of personality. So anyway, take a deep breath, Mel. Now, my goals for Q4. I want to do more YouTube. Last quarter I didn't do enough YouTube. I wasn't really in a great place with my YouTube earlier in the year, or mid-year, or this is a period where I wasn't in a great place with it, and I just kind of pulled back a little bit on it, and I needed that. I'm not going to talk about it now or anything, but I pulled back a little bit on YouTube, I think, while I was trying to work out a few things. And now that I've had a bit of a break this last month, I think that was good for me. It's really made me sit back and reset and rethink about everything that I want in my life. And I love YouTube. I've always loved YouTube. I'm not going to pretend that YouTube is always easy. I've been doing YouTube for 6 years now. And 6 years of talking about reselling and stuff, like sometimes you do get to that point where you're like, what do I talk about? And it can get mentally hard. I'm not going to lie about all that kind of stuff, but I'm in a better place with that now, and I feel good about, I feel excited actually about Q4. There's a few things that I want to do different. I do want to talk to you more about finances and my finances, I guess, and how I do this. eBay is not my sole income. I've got multiple sources of income, and I'm so glad I do, because I think having eBay as a sole income would be very, very hard and very, very stressful. It is a real roller coaster, and some weeks are up and some weeks are down and some months are up, and I definitely feel like I live in a high cost of living. I live in the capital city of Australia. It's an expensive city to live in. We have a lot of high-paying jobs, with people who work in the government in my city, because all the Parliament House and everything is in the city. There's a lot of public servants who work for the government and they get paid a lot of money. So everything is, our housing, our rents, cost of living it's just an expensive place to live in Canberra. I'm not saying that. I think most of Australia is actually quite costly to live in. We're not the only state that's costly, but I do live in a high cost of living area. So you have to be able to, it's just hard times trying to get enough income to live comfortably, but also have enough money to do that saving and investing and buying real estate. It's just hard. So I'm really glad that eBay, I'm just going to put that out there, is not my sole income. It's just a part of my income. And when I say that I did $42,000 worth of sales for Q3, that's obviously not my profits. I generally make around about a 30% profit on my sales, but I'm really glad that I'm not solely dependent on that. I think it's very hard to make a full-time living unless you're prepared to grind and grind and grind and grind. I think it is quite hard to make a sole income on eBay, but that's probably another story. So I don't know where I'm going with this video. I guess I just felt like I should come in here. Before I got sick, I'd actually filmed another video and I didn't get it edited. I was so sick. I was coughing nonstop, just cough, cough, cough all night, all day, coughing, coughing, coughing. And I was just trying to rest because I was aware I had this cruise coming up. And I'd been to the doctor. I had antibiotics and nasal sprays, and I ended up on steroid puffers, like asthmatic kind of puffers. And I was just focused on trying to be healthy so that I had this cruise pre-booked and I needed to get healthy to be able to go on the cruise. So I don't know. I just didn't end up editing that video, and now that it's been a few weeks since I made a video, I didn't really feel like that video would make sense if I put it out. I wanted to just come in here, talk about a bit of a reset, and then tomorrow I'm back in here. All my orders, I've been in the time away, so all my orders are due out tomorrow. There's about 80 of them. I've been in time away for a week, and when I go into time away, my sales normally half. So that's about right. My sales are about half of what they are, which I'm still super grateful for, because while I was on the cruise, I didn't have to worry about any customer service. I don't think I got one message, maybe one, of somebody asking something. I didn't have to worry about any feedbacks. I had orders coming in. I accepted or declined a few offers or counted a few offers as they came in while I was at night when I got back to the bed in the cruise. That was it. So it's really kind of nice to go away, and even though my sales are probably half of what they would normally be in that week, I've still made what I would deem as almost like a passive income, because I've done zero work and still made money while I've been away. So that has been nice. But it is time to get those sales moving onwards again. It's time to get them up. It's time to start bringing in some money. We're coming up. We've got Christmas, December. That's an expensive month for me. Really expensive. I like to buy my kids nice gifts for Christmas. I've now got a granddaughter. So I think my plan is just to work really, really hard now until Christmas and do that. Next year, I've got an expensive year ahead of me. I've got a lot of events on next year. I start off, I've got my sister's 30th. I've got her fiance's 30th. I've got my son's 21st. Will be my granddaughter's first birthday. It's going to be my 50th birthday, which means 90% of my friends will be turning 50 next year. So there'll be more celebrations. My sister is getting married this time next year. It's a destination wedding, so I've got additional costs for that. I'm also a bridesmaid in her wedding, so I've got additional bridesmaid costs like outfits and shoes and whatever else. I haven't been a bridesmaid for a very long time. I'm going to be the old bridesmaid, guys. She's got all these bridesmaids and I'm like the old one. They're all like 30 or younger and I'm like 50. So there'll be that. Then there'll be her hens night celebrations, which will be organising. And then as soon as her wedding's done, we'll be pretty much saving for Christmas. So I already know next year's going to be an expensive year ahead for me in terms of events and gifts and parties and all that kind of stuff. So I've actually just started a account. $50 a week is already going into it just to help me for next year for all the celebrations and the gifts and the weddings and the destinations and the travel. And I think Tom and I would like to work hard for a few months and then maybe look to take a holiday ourselves, just the two of us. We're thinking, well, I'm thinking maybe about February after school holidays would work well. Still be nice in summer and warm, but get through Christmas, get through the holidays, and we'll see if that can happen. We'll see if that can happen. Okay, I don't know. I'm just rambling here. I just want to say welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And thanks for being patient with me. I'm about to ramp up the YouTube content. Get ready. My plan is to make 3 videos a week again like I used to. I think I'm better when I'm making 3 videos a week and I don't have time to think about it. When I make less videos, I start overthinking them. What am I going to do? What am I going to make? Can I make this? Can I make that? Whereas when I get into that rhythm of making a video every other day, there's less time for me to overthink. And I'm an overthinker and I don't want to overthink. I just want to come out here. I want to document my day and I want to share with you guys what I'm doing. I'm going to answer a few more questions in some of my videos. I get a lot of questions from you guys. I want to start answering a lot more in some of my videos. So if you do have questions, keep dropping them into the comments and that's where I'll start to answer your comments, your questions and stuff in my videos. I'm contemplating doing a live stream once a month maybe. I don't know if you guys would like to see me start bringing back the live stream. I definitely don't think I want to do them weekly, not even fortnightly, but maybe monthly, maybe at the end of the month or the beginning of a new month. Let me know. What do you think in the comments? Live stream, yay or nay? I'm rambling, guys. I like to just talk to you sometimes and I miss you all. And thanks for being patient. And we're back. And tomorrow I will come in here. I've got heaps of orders. The place is an absolute mess. I don't know where I'm going in here. I need a really big cleanup session in here. I need new shelves. I'm actually at the point where I walk in here and I don't know where to start with it in the warehouse. It's a little bit out of control with books everywhere. I'm not really buying much at the moment. Over the last quarter, I got a lot of inventory in, but that's going to ease up for Q4. I'm not going to have as much stock coming in for Q4. I don't want as much stock coming in for Q4. I will barely have to buy anything for Q4. If I do go out sourcing, it'll be more for fun, not so much because I need inventory. I've also got some inventory at home, like that's not even books. I'm thinking about maybe listing some of that different stuff. I think some of it's probably worth money, and at the moment I'm all about increasing the average sale price. So I'm going to look at some of the stuff that I've got at my house, and if I think it's going to be worth a little bit more money, I think I'm just going to add it into my bookstore. I have thought about having a second store with things that aren't books, but I just don't think I can be bothered. Righto, but that's it. Q4, we're up. We're going to go hard. We're going to make more money. We're going to increase the average sale price. I'm going to try and save money every single week so that I can transfer it across and do a little bit of investing. And yeah, if you've got any investing tips for a newbie into the stock market, put them down below, let me know. But, you know, don't stress, guys. This is not a financial advice channel. I will certainly not be telling you like how to do stocks or anything like that. I got to learn it myself, but I am very interested and I'm excited to learn something new. So yeah, if you got any podcasts, any channels, any, what's it called, books, anything where it's like good to learn, I'm up for it. Like, hit me up. Right, that is it. I'm going to potter around here, see if I can clean up a few benches before tomorrow, and then we're rocking and rolling for Q4. Thanks, guys. See you later, alligator. Bye.